Welcome to the Artist Loft, the talk show for all artists. Join us each show as we spotlight a variety of different creatives, hosted by the Florida Arts Network, with Richard Sosa and Frank A. Ruffolo.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Artist Loft.
Hey.
Yes.
And I'm glad to be back. How's everybody?
Yeah, boy, you were missed.
I was missed.
A little bit. Anyway.
A little
Yeah,
bit.
a little bit. Just, you know. So this show is hosted by the Florida Arts Network, which is a nonprofit for the arts, right? And our biggest goal is bringing arts to our youth.
Yep.
Because, you know, they don't have the same kind of opportunities that were once available back in the day.
In the day.
Yeah, in the day, yo. Oh boy, that's I should just stay away from trying to sound like that. It just doesn't work well for me. But we need you guys' help. We need funds to help sponsor some kids so they can get into different workshops and things like that. I was watching an episode of West Coast Customs where they take these cars and customize them. And today's episode, they did this like a bus for this family with like 6 kids, really talented kids. They do breakdancing and everything else. And they were homeless at one point, and now they're kind of getting around. Monster has picked them up and stuff. And they were cramming these kids and all their stuff into this van, but now they got like this huge thing for them. And they hooked it up, and the look on the kids' faces when they saw that, I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's what we want to do. Put the look on those kids' faces.
Yeah, because there's so many kids that have all this talent, and they don't have a creative outlet, and we want to be able to provide that, one kid at a time. Mm-hmm. So check out our website when you can. It's floridaartsnetwork.org. And right on our very first page, we've got a list of ways that you can help. And it doesn't always have to be financial, right? There are other things that we need, administrative stuff that we need. So if you can help us, we'd really appreciate it.
And we are a 501c3, so if you need an additional relief on your taxes, now's the time to do it. The end of the year.
There you go. There you go. You can write off anything that you donate to us, and we would appreciate it, and I know a lot of kids would appreciate it as well. All right, so today we have a very, very talented guest and a super great guy. I've worked with him. I've worked with him before a few times. Daniel Deien. Welcome to the show, Dan.
Yeah, Dan, how are you?
How you guys doing? For the invite.
Yeah. All right. So we Dan and I met. Gosh, how many years ago was that? About 8 years ago.
It was 8 or 9 years ago. I think it was 2014, 2015, something like that.
Yeah,
it was
and
a while ago.
It was for a project that unfortunately it never really made it, but
never saw the light of day.
Yeah, and it didn't. It really didn't. We did some filming with it, but I really got a chance to work with Dan, and I saw his work. I've seen his work. I've seen his work ethic, and just a fun guy to be around, right? He may not look it, but no, I'm kidding.
Because I'm always on the other side of the camera, so
yeah,
this is new to me, if you will. This side of it, at least.
Yeah, that's right. You know, I hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah, you're the actor. I'm the one that's always behind the scenes. So,
Yeah.
like, where do I look from here, guys?
Hey, so let me ask you, how how did you get started in the industry? Because on the Artist Loft, we like to focus on the journey,
Yeah.
because there are a lot of people out there listening that maybe they're interested in being a cinematographer or DP, and I'm like, well, what did he have to go through? What were some of the hurdles that he had to overcome, and all the different pitfalls, and so
Sure.
it's a crazy industry.
It's very. I got started through skateboarding, actually. That's where my journey began. I was a skateboarder every day, all day. That's all I did, every single day, from sun up to sundown. I was living in Southern California and just skateboarding every day. And then I just picked up a camera and started filming my friends, and I was just zoned into filming all the time. I didn't want to do that. All I wanted to be was just a professional skateboarder. And just, I don't know, as I got older, I graduated high school and I got hurt. And it was just one of those moments to where the girl I was dating, not my wife, she said, "Why don't you go to film school?" And I was like, film school. I was just I didn't, like I said, all I wanted to do was just skateboard. And so I went to a school in Orlando, and just that same passion that I had for skateboarding is what brought me into this industry. So it was the same passion that I had from the first time I picked up a skateboard, the first time I was on a set, the first time I was really understanding how the camera works. But when I was filming with my friends skateboarding, yeah, you just want to make sure you're framed up and you're getting the tricks. You're not so much focused on the style of it. You wanted to see the trick to make sure you got it right. And then from there, it just evolved to a 20-year career so far.
Yeah.
So.
And then your first time on a set. Okay, so I know that had to be really daunting. First time on a set.
Yeah, it was surreal, because it was, you're seeing the other side of the screen. You're seeing, the 100 people that's running around, and the way they're looking at the lighting, the way the lighting's talking to the camera is talking to the director's making sure the producer. It was just you just start seeing this whole process go on, and it was just it was overwhelming, but the nervousness was what just captivated me. It was the same time I was on a skateboard. I was super nervous, and then once you just get the groove of it, you're like, oh, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to be.
It's like looking at an ant farm, I guess. You've got all these ants going all over the place, right? But they all know what they're doing. They all know what their function is. So I call it organized chaos.
Yeah, that's the best way to describe a set.
Yeah,
Organized chaos.
Set, organized chaos.
Yeah, because from the outside, you're seeing 1,000 people running
So it's
around.
like driving in Hialeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that's organized.
Yeah,
that's just chaos.
I don't know how organized that really is.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So can you talk a little bit about your first project? What was it?
It was just school projects. So it wasn't anything that was, it went anywhere. It was just all these assignments that we had to do, and it was storytelling. And then as just the years went on, I've realized that I love storytelling, and it kind of goes hand in hand with what I do. I tell people stories through pictures.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So from there, it's just, I love people's stories.
Yeah.
So.
And film is a great medium for telling stories.
It's the best.
And books.
Yeah.
But even
I was waiting for you to say that.
That was what I would always tell people. It's somebody could see the story unfold the way that you would read a book, and I think that's what I love, reading a story and then visualizing it in my head and watching it come to life. That's probably
Yeah.
one of the coolest things to do in this business,
Yeah,
at least
and
for me.
And I think one of the most challenging things would probably be trying to make a film from a book,
Yeah,
because
Oh.
a book, I was an avid reader.
Yeah.
When I was younger. I mean, sixth, seventh, eighth grade. I mean, I was reading like 30 books a year.
Oh,
At
wow.
that time, it was like constantly reading. And I tried to get my kids to love books at a younger age, and they're like, "Oh, I'd rather watch the movie." I'm like, "Yeah, but your imagination can take you to places that a film can't."
Right. That's
And therein lies the challenge.
true, because you got to take so many things out, because
Yeah.
your minutes on a movie screen can be cut down just due to the side of the business that people don't understand.
Yeah.
So when you're seeing it on a movie screen, you're like, but you missed half the story, and you're like,
Yeah.
well, you should go read the book then,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we couldn't afford the other half.
2 or 3 pages in a book could be 2 minutes on a movie.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Yeah, and then you have to take, like a 350, 400 page book and condense it to like 90 to 100 pages
Yeah.
on a script. And a lot of that is direction, right? Not even dialogue.
Well,
So-
that's the people that don't understand that either. Is when you're putting all the stories together, that's dialogue of what you have to put together. But now you actually have to get other shots to tell that story. So now you're really losing time, because,
It was extremely easy to write a book from a screenplay, but it was extremely terrible to write a screenplay from a book.
well,
Yeah.
that's why a lot of these films that are out that are autobiography films. I mean, they're like, well, they didn't tell half the story, and it's like, well, they put the best parts of what this person's going through, or like the bands or stuff like that. So
yeah.
but
Yeah, and I know that, like, one of the series that I was impressed with was The Lord of the Rings.
right,
So I read the books, and I was very surprised at how great the movie. Of course, those are 3-hour movies.
right, yeah,
But we're not here to talk about Lord of the Rings. We're here to talk about Daniel Deien. So I digress. Okay, those of you that have watched me for any length of time, or that have known me for 5 minutes, know that I'm a squirrel. I am all over the place. So
but you do good on set. So I mean, you have your moments.
yeah. And we got a chance to work on set recently.
Yeah. So I have another movie that's coming out. We did a part one. It was a low budget film. A buddy of mine wrote this story, and I mean, I was just instantly like, yeah, let's work on it. There was no real, I mean, there was direction to it, but there was no budget. It was just the want to, and that turned into a successful film. It did very, very well. The distribution company got back to us and said, we want a part 2, and now you guys have an exclusive. So it's going to be premiering this summer on Peacock. So very excited about that, and you are part of it.
Yeah.
You play an attorney in the film.
Yeah.
So I want to tell about the scene, but I can't.
I know.
There's things that can't be revealed on it, but your scene did very well. We just filmed that about a couple weeks ago, and yeah, it was a good scene.
Yeah, and it was a great cast. The cast. I mean, it was can't talk about.
Yeah, can't talk
Got
about
it.
Can't talk about certain things from it, but
I can't say nothing about it.
yeah,
It's maybe I should have done my character like this.
there you go. But no, I'm definitely excited about that project, because it was something that, and this is what I try to tell all filmmakers or anybody that's in this business: if you want to do something, find a way.
Yeah.
We did this first project with zero to no money. And when I mean no money, I mean it was getting our friends involved. It was, hey, can I do this? Can I film in this area? And it worked. And that movie was released in 2019, and here we are today. You know,
Yeah.
we have a part 2, and it's definitely a lot bigger.
Yeah.
It's going to be a
Yeah.
big one this year. So,
Locations and
yeah,
everything.
there's
Yeah.
a lot that went into part 2.
Yeah.
That should have went into part 1, but like I said, there was no money.
Yeah.
So-
No, I hear you.
But-
All right, so we're just going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with Dean in 30 seconds.
See you soon.
Ever needed a good read? Maybe a book to keep your mind off things. Frank A. Ruffalo is an internationally known author and accomplished screenwriter. He's written many successful novels with amazing stories. Fiction adventures like The Lady of the Harbor, The Trihedral of Chaos, Gabriel's Chalice, 10048, and many more. For more information, visit www.frankaruffalo.com, or you can find Frank Ruffalo on Amazon.
Okay.
We're back, guys. Whether Richard knows it or not.
I'm not always aware. You know, like, look at this. If I put my mic down here, you can't even see it. I'm like, yeah.
You can't
Oh,
hear
yeah, yeah. You can't hear me either. Oh my gosh, I am just a hot mess. I gotta stop drinking. You know, a 8-ounce cup of Cuban coffee before coming over here. Yeah, that's what it is.
I worked with a guy. He wasn't from Florida, and we were getting ready to start filming, and he was like, "Man," he was like, "I'm so tired," and somebody was like, "You want a Cuban coffee?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'll take a coffee." And they were like, No, Cuban coffee." He was like, "Sounds good. What's that?" And so we gave him a shot, you know, as you do. And he was like, "This is it." And we was like, "You don't drink too many of those."
Yeah.
So we drank the big one. We had to sit him down and give him so much water to calm him down.
No.
He was just all over the place. And the producer was like, "Why did you guys give him that much coffee?" He was like, he kept wanting it.
He asked.
So,
he
yeah.
asked for
If
it.
you're not from Florida and you drink Cuban coffees, just be very careful.
Yeah, and I drink an 8-ounce cup of it.
Oof.
I know, but I'm used to it. I've been drinking Cuban coffee for forever, most of my life.
Yeah.
You know, all 40 years of my life.
No comment.
Yeah, thanks, Frank. So, okay, so you are involved. Well, first of all, you are just busier than a one-legged man in a butt-kicking contest.
Yeah.
And
No, my schedule is definitely it's full. Not full, but I stay busy, that's for sure.
yeah, and traveling here and there, going on set here, going on set all over the place.
I do I travel gratefully enough, like I have a busy career, which is awesome. I get to travel. I get to do the stuff that, you know, I mean, I'm grateful for all of it, but yes,
Yeah.
I stay very busy. I travel a lot. I'm constantly on a set. I'm working on something. So yeah, there's a lot going on.
What was your favorite location? Do you have one?
I have a couple of them. I think, honestly, always going to Los Angeles is fun just because it's the Mecca. I mean, we're in South Florida, so going over to the Hollywood area and, you know, working around that's always fun to me just because that's the Mecca. That's,
Yeah.
you know, that's where everybody's destined to go. I don't know. I like a lot of, I don't know, Seattle's a fun one. I don't know, there's a lot. So
Yeah, Dallas can get pretty busy. There's a lot of filming out there too, and then they've got South by Southwest Film Festival there too. So they have
Yeah.
a lot of activity there. So a lot of good places to
yeah,
film.
Dallas is a fun one.
Yeah, South Florida. All you filmmakers, you really need to think about coming to South Florida. We've got everything that you need here, and you can film all year long.
Yes.
Well, we don't
Yep.
have mountains.
Well, sort of.
Well, yeah.
Depends. Yeah, it depends on what mountains we're referring to.
Tell me what you classify as a mountain.
Yeah.
Mount Trashmore.
Sam-
Trashmore.
Yeah,
we have
Sampa
Mount
has a nice mountain. Yeah. No, but home's always my favorite. Home, I mean, filming in Miami is always my go-to place.
Yeah.
I would, you know, I mean, I'm making a movie based about Miami. So.
Yeah. And sometime back, I got a call from you, and you said, "Hey, Rich, been going over this script, and as I'm reading it, I kept hearing your voice for this one character."
Yeah, you're Spin Psycho.
Yep.
Yes.
Spin Psycho.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was about the movie that made him think of me. Is it the psycho part or?
No, I don't. No, I wouldn't say the psycho part. No, there was just a character that when, I mean, we're in development for it, and every time I kept reading that part of the script, I kept telling the other producer, I was like, I got the perfect person for this part. And he was like, who? And then I sent him your IMDb, and he goes, that's the guy that I had in my head when I was making this character. So, yeah, that's another project that's in the works right now. So,
Yeah.
we're working with, we're actually working with some LA people on that one. So there's, you know,
Oh, very cool.
thankfully the strike and all that stuff's over. So
Oh,
we're able to
kidding.
start making some movement on it again, which is great. So
No kidding. I remember it was like right toward the end of the strike. I got the opportunity to go to the Fort Lauderdale International Film Festival opening at the Hard Rock Live, and they were showing a film called The Good Side.
okay,
And I had the chance to speak with the director, Robert Schwartzman,
nice.
and the writer, Brett Ryland. And the writer's strike was over, so Brett Ryland was able to talk to me about the film. But Robert Schwartzman couldn't talk to me about the film. Right?
Yeah.
So, so that was just, I know that was annoying for them.
Oh, it was, yeah. I mean, there was a couple projects that I have going on. There was a pilot that we just wrapped. I mean,
Yeah.
it was finished. It was at the seal of approval, and it was being shopped. The agencies had it. I
Yeah.
mean, it was making its way. And then we just get a phone call one day, and they were like, yeah, the writers are on strike, so this is going to have to get shut down.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay. And then everything else happened. It was just
Yeah.
everything happened at that point,
Yeah,
and it stopped.
And I get it. I really do. I get it. I mean, the writers and the actors, they needed to have certain protections in place.
Of course.
Because of
Sure.
AI.
Yeah.
I mean, AI is an incredibly powerful tool, but it can be taken advantage of.
Yeah, for sure.
So I get it. I get it. It was just being able to talk about the project was like, I had so many questions that I wanted to ask him.
My phone started ringing constantly when those strikes went to an end, which
Oh,
was
I
nice
bet.
because there was, like I said, before the strikes hit, there was a lot of things that was in the works, and
Yeah.
it all went to a screeching halt. I mean, there was films, there was pilots, there was a lot going on, and it just stopped, and
Yeah.
it was COVID all over again for the West Coast.
Yeah.
So unfortunately,
Pretty
I'm
much.
talking to my buddies back there, and they're like, "How are you so busy?" And I was just like, "Dude, I'm in Florida, man. I mean, we're not on a film set. I'm over here doing commercials right now." So
Yeah. Yeah, and there are a lot of commercials that come down to Florida.
Yeah.
And most of them are non-union.
yes, a lot of things in South
Yeah.
Florida is
There's a
Florida
lot
in
of
general.
stuff down
is-
here that's
Right to work down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was still work to be had
Yes.
down here in South Florida,
Yes.
which a lot of people were grateful for. But a lot of the bigger projects, the ones that stemmed, from, the larger production companies out in LA and stuff,
Well,
those
those-
were like,
Well, a lot of the film junkets and stuff, they all had to come to a halt. And I know a handful of people that work on a lot of them, and theirs all got shut down. So,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
everything's back. So 2024 should be a good year
Yeah.
for this industry.
Yeah.
So-
And I feel like there's going to be some good things happening for you in 2024.
There's a handful of things that I have going on. So,
Is there
You know.
anything that you're really excited about that you can talk about, or?
Murder Gardens 2, that's coming out in the summer. Crew Lead, which will come out at the end of the year. I'm working with Raheem Mostert from the Miami Dolphins on his podcast. So, and then the projects that are in development, Spin Psycho, we're hoping that we're going to get some movement on that one, and then just other projects. So
Yeah. I'm looking forward to Spin Psycho. That's
so am I, because
Yeah.
there's some heavy hitters that we're putting involved in this one, and it started making some noise, and then, like I said, everything got shut down. So
that's
hopefully we'll pick
awesome.
it all back up in 2024.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. No, you should read the script. I remember reading this thing. I'm like, what? Wait, what?
The writer on it, he's sometimes I wonder, right? I'm like, Adam, where do you, and he's like, I don't know, man. I zone out. And I'm like, literally.
Well, look at Alice in Wonderland. that was a product of,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
Careful about the mushrooms you put on your pizza, people.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I am really so looking forward to that. And I'm really looking forward to see what's going to be coming up for you, because you really are so stinking talented.
Thanks, man.
And
Appreciate
and you deserve to be up there and to get that recognition.
Thanks,
'Cause
man.
I know you've worked
do
hard
appreciate
for
that.
it.
Yeah, and we
It's-
should get together with him and maybe do something.
Yeah. Let's talk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were talking before before the show
It's-
about a script that Frank and I have.
Yeah.
So
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. So yeah, little by little, and it's always all about
The
the
Benjamins.
money.
Well, it's luckily I've found myself in just right place, right time. But I mean, like I said, I've been in this industry for 20 years, so I mean, I've luckily been able to travel the world and work with some amazing people along the way. But as I always tell everybody, like, knock on everybody's door, shake everybody's hand,
Yeah.
talk with everybody. You
Yeah.
know, don't be bashful. Don't think that you're bigger than this person or that person. You
Yeah.
know, keep your ego at the door.
Oh,
Yep.
For me,
absolutely.
you got to keep your ego at the door, especially on
Absolutely.
anything that I'm a part of, because
Yeah.
it's always about having fun.
Yeah.
So it's a
And-
fun
and-
business.
And why don't you tell everybody where they can find you? If anybody wants to hire you or just check out your work.
Social
or whatever?
media things. Dan Deien. I'm on Instagram. Facebook. Just all of them. Just Google my name.
Okay.
Or just look up my name, Dan Deien.
Okay.
So
All right. Very cool. Well, Dan, thanks so much for being on the
thank
show,
you guys.
buddy.
Thank you.
I can't believe. We do these shows every other week, and we get to the end of the show, and we're like,
It's like we've only been. It feels like only been like a few seconds, and we're
yeah,
done.
like we just started, and,
Yeah,
it's,
it's
and
really-
it's over already. It's like, what in the world? Oh man, yeah. Well, when some of these things start coming out, we'll have to get you back on the show.
Oh, I'd love to be back on the show.
Yep.
Bring
Yeah.
some of my
Keep us in
friends with
mind.
me, and we can get your guys' projects going
Yep.
too. So
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah. We'll talk. My people
Yeah.
talk to
Your
your people.
people.
We'll get it all squared away. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
All right.
I know what you mean.
All right, Dan. Well, thanks so much for being on the show, buddy.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right. So, Florida.
Another one in the books,
Yep.
so to speak.
Well, no, it's not really in the books. Wouldn't it be like in the internet?
In the internet.
Yes, it's
In
in
the
the
cloud?
internet one more time. Yeah. So we mentioned Florida Arts Network when the show first started, and Frank brought up that really good point. It is a 501c3. That's our website right
website
there at
right
the
there.
bottom. And we really would appreciate any help. And I know that the kids that we would be helping would really appreciate it, because some of them, they don't have the means. They simply don't have the means.
And we need
They've got the talent.
and we need to help them.
Yeah, they really need the help. They really do need the help. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us once again.
Right.
And have a great new year.
Happy New Year.
Remember, don't drink and drive. All right, and we will see you.
See you on the flop side.
Yep, we'll see you on the flip side. No, flip side.
Flip side.
Flip side. Yeah, we don't want to flop. We'll flip. We won't flop. All right. Our next show is January 11th. We'll see you then.
Thank you for watching The Artist Loft. Make sure to tune in next time for another great show. A show that was produced by Ant Media Productions and hosted by the Florida Arts Network with your hosts Richard Sosa and Frank A. Ruffolo.